Finish collection of 2018. Now I've had a few people ask me, when's this video going to be out, and it's here. Now normally the Big Finish collection is out on the 28th of July every year. You can put that in your diary for 2019. That's going to be the 2019 Big Finish collection on the 28th of July. That's when the video will be out. It's been a tradition for me. It's a way of me celebrating my channel's birth, I guess, and sort of the anniversary of celebrating the creation of my YouTube channel. So this is the way I do it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. The collection has grown quite a lot. I mean, I know the collection was quite big last year, but it's practically doubled in the sense that we've had sales like the £1 clearance, the warehouse clearance sales. You know, you're not going to turn down audios for £1, so that's why it's grown considerably. A lot more than just sales in general. Before people ask, because I know I get quite a few comments about this, how have you got this many Big Finish? Simple answer is I've been collecting these for about 4.5 years, you know, solely focusing on Big Finish. So that's why the collection's the size it is, because I've been getting Big Finish for about 4.5 years now. So this is about 4.5 years worth of collecting Big Finish, and it's still growing, and it's going to continually grow because Big Finish, you know, is out every month. So this collection update is going to be out of date within a month. So yeah, so hope you enjoy this collection video, and I'll see you in my next video. So hope you enjoy it, and we'll start off with the BBC
kicking off with missing episode soundtracks. So we have Marco Polo. We have the Adventures in History set containing the Mythmakers, the Massacre and the Highlanders. We have the Mother of All Hartnells, the Daleks Master Plan, probably one of my favourite William Hartnell stories. It's just brilliant, believe the hype with that story. The Celestial Toymaker, which a story I would like to see animated because I think that will get a lot more appreciation. The Smugglers, I don't really like it, to be honest. Power of the Daleks, quite redundant now because hey, it's animated now. Macra Terror, that's supposedly meant to be getting animated, which is quite exciting because I do have a bit of a soft spot for the Macra Terror. I reviewed that back in 2015. The Faceless Ones, what I've given a custom cover for. Evil of the Daleks, which is a brilliant story. Really do like Evil of the Daleks. Then we have the Yeti Attack box set containing the Abominable Snowman and the Web of Fear. We have Enemy of the World, Fury from the Deep, which is probably one of my most wanted missing episodes to come back. I just think it's so atmospheric and I just think it works a lot better on audio. I think it's one of those stories that works a lot better on audio, but I would love to see it on DVD. The Wheel in Space, again, like Macra Terror, that's meant to be animated, and that's been listed on Amazon in America, so who knows. We have the Space Pirates, not a very good story, let's be honest. Then we have some other audio, so we've got a 10th Planet interview with John Pertwee done by David Banks. And then we have the Paradise of Death. So the last lot of BBC audios, what I'm going to show you, this is the last lot I have on CD and not freebies. So if we look at this, so we have the Ghost of N-Space, a 6-part Third Doctor story. Really nice, really did enjoy it. And yeah, it did very well back in the day, back like 22 years ago, it was back in the charts. So yeah, very nice story, and I don't get the hate for it. I rather like it, maybe because I'm a massive Third Doctor fan. So we have Vengeance of Stone, the Destiny of the Doctor audios now, so there we go. Nice story, did enjoy that one. Night of Whispers, probably my favourite of the three what I've got. I just enjoyed it. It's just nice to have more Ninth Doctor stuff because there's not that much of it. Then we have the Time Machine. And we have some other things. We've got Doctor Who at the BBC, the 10th Doctor, the Day of the Troll, Last Voyage, Dead Air, which I really like. I listened to that a couple of years ago, and it's brilliant audio, very good, and is made for the radio format. So we have the Hornet's Nest stuff there, so there we go. I'll just quickly breeze through this because I haven't listened to any of these because I don't have them all. So it seems a bit pointless to start listening to these. So then we have the Serpent Crest again. I don't have all of these, so that's why I haven't listened to them. So we've got, there we go, and then the latest BBC audios what I've picked up. So we have the Men of War, which I have reviewed, so that'll be in my Big Finish reviewing playlist, even though it's technically not Big Finish, but I just thought I'd throw it in there for convenience. And then we have Horrors of War, which again I need to review, and that'll be one of the upcoming videos in the near future. So then on to the freebie audios now. So audios what I got free. So we've got Exploration Earth from the Telegraph. We have the Hounds of Artemis there. We have Slipback, Genesis of the Daleks. I've got that multiple copies because it's been released in like the 4th Doctor time capsule. It's been a thing what's been done to death. So we've got Pest Control Part 2, Pest Control Part 1, Cuddlesome, The Mutant Phase, probably my first ever Big Finish I got. That's a little fun fact. And then we have Part 1 of Pest Control, but we have the Runaway Train, I think.
Where is it? There's a runaway train. Got that one as well. There we go.
So now moving on to the big finish. So if we start off with the main range, so we have the Sirens of Time. Pretty good story to start off the main range. I'll give that one a 7 out of 10. We have Phantasmagoria, the Whispers of Terror. Really, this is when Big Finish started to understand how to do audios with the sound design, because obviously the monster is purely based on sound. So yeah, that's a very good story in my opinion. Land of the Dead, not very good. Fearmonger, one of my favourite 7th Doctor audios. It's basically the 7th Doctor and Ace put in a John Pertwee 3rd Doctor story, so I really did like that one. The Marion Conspiracy, just a classic one. It's the start of the Colin Baker master plan when Big Finish started to redeem the 6th Doctor, because Colin had to sit down with them once they finished recording Whispers of Terror and said, look, that's great and everything, but can we do this? And that's kind of how the Marion Conspiracy happened, and the whole sort of redemption of the 6th Doctor really. So then we have the Genocide Machine, the start of the Dalek Empire thing, well, kind of a precursor to that series. Red Dawn, very good story in my opinion. I quite like it. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure. Part 1 is probably the best, but yeah, Spectre of Lanyon Moor, one of my favourites. It does go a bit downhill in episode 4. I think it's quite creepy, but it's just worth getting just to hear the 6th Doctor and the Brigadier together. It's brilliant. Winter of the Adept, the Apocalypse Element, one of my favourite 6th Doctor stories. It's basically, as everyone says it, the 6th Doctor in the Time War really. The Daleks are at their desperate, the mutants are used effectively, and I've got it signed by Lala Ward when I went to Big Finish Day back in 2015. Fires of Vulcan, one of my favourite 7th Doctor audios, just brilliant story, one of my favourites. Then we have Shadow of the Scourge, signed by quite a few people. The Holy Terror starts off quite a fun, jovial story, but it gets dark as the story gets on, and yeah, very good story by Rob Sherman. Mutant Phase, I'm not too keen on that one. Storm Warning, very 90s. It's very much, what if Paul McGann did continue. Sword of Orion, really do like this story. Did take me a couple of times to get into it, but once I, got into it, I did really enjoy it. Stones of Venice, it's good. It's probably the weakest of the first wave of McGann audios. Surprisingly, Minuet in Hell, I do quite enjoy, even though episode 1's about like 40 minutes. But again, it's like the Spectre of Lanyon Moor, it's worth getting just for the 8th Doctor and the Brigadier. Lugaroo, very good story for the 5th Doctor. Dust Breeding starts off really well, but then you kind of hit episode 4 and it just falls apart. The cover is great. Blood Tide was my first main range story, what I got like this, and I really like it. It's one of my favourite 6th Doctor audios. The Silurians are brilliant, and it's a very good twist on the Silurians, and it may be quite controversial to some people, like what the Silurians do, but yeah, it's very good. Project Twilight, one of my favourite Big Finish stories. If you follow my channel for a long time, you'll know that I absolutely adore this story. Then we have Eye of the Scorpion, introduction to Eramim. Then we have Colditz, introduction to Klein, who's coming back in the main range in Warlock's Cross. Primeval, very good story. Definitely check out this one. It's an underrated gem and it's brilliant. It's wonderful. It explains why Nissa's just like, oh, I need to sleep in Kinder, so that kind of explains that. The One Doctor, just a nice fun story. Invaders from Mars, The Chimes of Midnight, very good story. Got it signed by Rob Sherman. Then we have Seasons of Fear, my favourite 8th Doctor main range story, just love it, and the villain within it is not a villain you'd expect. And then we have Embrace of the Darkness, which again, I enjoy it, it's quite a nice story. Then we have Time of the Daleks, a pretty good story to be honest, nothing special, but yeah, it's quite interesting, and it kind of is interesting because obviously if you listen to Kingmaker, it does make things rather interesting. So we've got Neverland, yeah, very good story, but for me the 2-part format doesn't really work for this story. Then we have Spare Parts, which I listened to last year because obviously the return of the Mondasian Cybermen, and do you know what, I appreciated it more on re-listening. It's definitely one of my favourite 5th Doctor audios, but it's not my favourite. Then we have Ish, which I do have a misprint for because it's meant to be 35, but mine says 34, you can see there hopefully. Yeah, then we have, so there we go, Rapture. Yeah, that's all I can say on that story. Not very good to be honest. The Sandman, The Church and the Crown, Bang Bang a Boom, Jubilee. Yeah, obviously the inspiration for Daleks, like everyone says. Very good story. Not a very good story. Necromancer, one of the worst Big Finishes you can get. It's an absolute abomination. Begone.
Then we have The Dark Flame, which I got signed by Lisa Bauman. I really do like this story. I don't know why, I just quite enjoy it, to be honest. It's not a well-regarded one. Then we have Doctor and the Pirates, or The Last But Lost a Sailor. Doctor Who does a musical. Then we have Creatures of Beauty, one of the experimental ones where it's basically part 1 is part 4. It's basically a story which all jumbled up. So yeah, that's why I love the 1 to 50 area, and it's kind of the first 100 because it's very experimental. I wish Big Finish went back to those days. Then we have Project Lazarus, very good story, did enjoy that one, nice continuation from Project Twilight. Flip Flop, a story you can listen to in either order and it still makes sense, and it's an okay story, to be honest. Then we have the Villains trilogy, we have Omega. Yeah, a good story, Then we have Davros, pretty good story as well. Then we have my favourite, Master, just brilliant. If you love the Master, then you're gonna love this. It is just a wonderful character piece for the Master, and it's quite dark in places. Then we have Zagreus, the mind-boggling story, the 50th release. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's just really bizarre, and I just love it because it's just so wacky. Then we have the Wormery with the 6th Doctor and Iris Wildtime. Obviously, she's coming back in the main range later this year. We have Scherzo, which has recently gone out of print, and it's just a brilliant story. It is wonderful, but obviously, listen to the Web of Time stuff with the 8th Doctor, and obviously Zagreus, and then you'll understand kind of Scherzo. Just to get the full benefit, really. Creed of Croman, I don't like it at all. Natural History of Fear, it's a story what can only be done on audio. Twilight Kingdom, Acts of Insanity, interesting idea, but it just doesn't really come across that well, to be honest. Arrangements for War, The Harvest, a story I didn't really like, but I just randomly wanted to listen to a 7th Doctor story, and I just picked this one out recently, and I just thought I'd listen to this one again and give it a chance. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more. I think that it tries to do something interesting with the Cybermen. But, yeah, part 3 and 4, it does become a bit crap. You know, the first 2 parts are alright. Introduction to Hex, I should say. But, yeah, it's an okay story. It tries to do something unique with the Cybermen, but it doesn't really work in a way. Then we have Roof of the World. Medicinal purposes. Do enjoy this one. It's quite a nice, dark and messed up story. Do like that. Then we have the Faith Stealers. Very interesting concept and very nice, very good. Obviously part of the Divergent arc what kicked off in Scherzo. Then we have The Last, a very bleak story that one is. Then we have Kerdroya. Then we have the last story in the Divergent series, which is The Next Life, a big 6-parter. Then we have the Juggernaut, fantastic story. Really like that one. Then we have The Game, Dreamtime, Catch 1782, Freeze a Crowd, Unregenerate, which is a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I did quite enjoy that one. Then we have the Council of Nicaea. Then we have Terra Firma, very good story. I did a Big Finish fans back on it, and it is one of my favourite 8th Doctor main range stories. Then we have Thicker Than Water, Life 34, which I need to give it another go. It's one of those stories what I don't really like, and everybody seems to love it apart from me. It's done as a radio broadcast, and it's just a story I don't really like. Then we have Scaredy Cat, which I think's okay, it's decent. Singularity, very good story, signed by Mark Strickson. Other Lives, again, one of my favourite 8th Doctor audios. It's just a brilliant historical story. Really did like that one. It's a very good story for Keres. Peer Pressure, Night Fort, quite a disturbing story, but I really like it. It's a very good story. Time Works, yeah, one of my earliest 8th Doctor main range stories, and I just love it to bits. The Kingmaker, just absolutely wacky and just brilliant. It's just a wonderful story. The Settling, I listened to this one quite recently, and it's a very good story for Hex, and it's quite interesting to see Hex interact with Oliver Cromwell. Very interesting one. Then we have Something Inside. I remember seeing this one advertised in Doctor Who magazine, and I thought it was okay. Nothing special, but it was a decent one. The Nowhere Place, very good story, did enjoy that one. Then we have Red, which is quite a messed up one. Then we have the Reaping, which I don't really like, and The Gathering, again, I don't really like. I'm not a fan of those 2 stories, to be honest. Then we have Memory Lane, which should have been a 3-parter. It doesn't suit a 4-parter. It doesn't need the extra episode. Then we have No Man's Land, which I really did enjoy. Then we have Year of the Pig. And then we have Circular Time. We have Nocturne,
Renaissance of the Daleks, which is one of the worst Big Finish stories. Do not listen, it's not very good. We have ID, Exotron, Valhalla, Wishing Beast, which is okay, Frozen Time, which is average, Son of a Dragon, very good story by Steve Lyons, 100, Absolution, it's not very good, to be honest. The Mind's Eye, The Girl Who Never Was, pretty good story, got that signed by India Fisher. Bride of Paladin, did enjoy that one. We have The Condemned, which is one I've just started listening to. I've listened to the first 3 parts, and it is the start of the 6th Doctor and Charlie Pollard travelling together, and so far I give that story an 8 out of 10, so yeah, it's looking good. Then we have The Dark Husband, which I've listened to the trailer for on The Condemned, and to be honest, it does sound a bit naff, to be honest. We have The Hauntings of Thomas Brewster. We have The Assassin in the Limelight, which is part of a sort of a loose trilogy. What started in Medicinal Purposes, Peer Pressure, and obviously finished in this one with, I think, Professor Knox in there. And we have The Death Collectors, which it's a good story. I like the world what was created within that story. You have The Boy That Time Forgot, quite a controversial story. You have The Doomwood Curse, Kingdom of Silver, which I thought was okay. It does link into the Cyberman series. We have Time Reef, Brotherhood of the Daleks, 45, quite a nice anthology release, that one. Then we have The Raincloud Man. Then we have The Judgment of Iskar, Destroyer of Delight. Then we have The Chaos Pool. Then we have The Mousetrap, Enemy of the Daleks, which is a very good story, did enjoy that one. Then we have The Angel of Skitarii, The Company of Friends, very good anthology release. We have Patient Zero. We have Paper Cuts with The Draconians. Then we have Blue Forgotten Planet, which is the last 6th Doctor and Charlie story. Then we have the Stockbridge trilogy, which I really do like. Castle of Fear, very much like Monty Python with a return of a classic villain. Eternal Summer, very good paradoxical timey-wimey story, if you were, very good story. Did enjoy that one. And Plague of the Daleks, very good story as well. Probably the weakest of the trilogy, but still very good story. Thousand Tiny Wings, one of my favourite 7th Doctor audios. It's brilliant with the return of Klein. Survival of the Fittest, very much the 7th Doctor does the Web Planet. Yeah, very good story, but probably the weakest of the trilogy. Then we have The Architects of History. Yeah, really did like that one with the Salations. 6th Doctor and Jamie trilogy now, which is just brilliant. City of Spires is a fantastic story, probably my favourite of the trilogy. Wreck of the Titan, yeah, very good story, did enjoy that one. And then The Legend of the Cybermen with a very creepy cliffhanger. I think part 1's just got such a chilling cliffhanger. Yeah, I did enjoy that one. Then we have Cobwebs, which is on my my listen list when I get around to listening to that, because I do want to give that one a go because it's meant to be very creepy. Then we have The Whispering Forest and The Cradle of the Snake. Then we have the last story in the Project series, Project Destiny. We have A Death in the Family, Lurks at Sunlight Edge, which I have listened to and I thought that was a pretty good story, to be honest. Then we have The Demons of Reg Lodge and Other Stories, The Crimes of Thomas Brewster, with Flip in it, which is very nice because I do love Flip, and yeah, very good story. Then we have The Feast of Axos, very good story, did enjoy that one. Then we have Industrial Evolution, Heroes of Sontar, starts off well and then it just becomes a bit ridiculous, to be honest. Then we have The Kiss of Death, Rat Trap, Robophobia, which yeah, it's an okay story. Recorded Time and Other Stories, House of Blue Fire, first 2 episodes are great and then it just kind of loses everything what it built up. Silver Turk, one of my favourite audios, it's brilliant, it's one of my first as well, and the Cybermen are just brilliant, and it's the start of the Mary Shelley trilogy. Then we have The Witch from the Well, Army of Death, the last story in the Mary Shelley trilogy, and yeah, one of my first and I love it. Then we have The Curse of Davros, very good story, it's nice to hear the Imperial Daleks back and it's the start of Flip's travels of the Doctor. The Fourth Wall, Wirral Isle, very good story, very atmospheric, especially the first half. Then we have The Emerald Tiger, The Jupiter Conjunction, The Butcher of Brisbane, which is a brilliant story, really do like that one. Then we have The Gods and Monsters, which is just absolutely brilliant. If you followed the Black and White TARDIS trilogy, this is just a fantastic payoff. I haven't listened to all the stories in the Black and White TARDIS arc, but I know the basics. I've listened to the main stories to get that. and this is just a superb. I highly recommend that one. It's just brilliant. It is just a wonderful story, and if you love The Curse of Fenric, then you're absolutely going to love it. We have The Burning Prince, again, fantastic story by John Dorney. We have The Acheron Pulse, yeah, pretty good story. Shadowheart, 1001 Nights. I did enjoy this one, very good anthology story. The Wrong Doctors basically sees the Big Finish 6th Doctor and the TV 6th Doctor meet. So yeah, pretty good story that. Then we have The Spaceport of Fear. I don't really like that one. Seeds of War, sort of the Eminence. I think this is sort of the introduction to the Eminence, and I'm going to be honest, I found it a little bit disappointing. The plot was very much lacking. Eldrad Must Die. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant 5th Doctor story. It is one of my favourite 5th Doctor Big Finish stories. It's brilliant. Lady of Mercia, Prisoners of Fate. Then we have Persuasion, which is a brilliant 7th Doctor audio. I mean, I love that the 7th Doctor is very broody and dark within this. You know, he's very much thinking of his future. And there's a line within it, what he says, you know, thinking, I'm getting everything done now because I don't think the man I'm going to become will be able to cope. So I think that's really great that the 7th Doctor wants to wrap up all his unfinished business because he doesn't believe the 8th Doctor has the stomach. So I really do like that. Yeah, Starlight Robbery. First 2 parts are a bit naff, and then the second half it picks up and becomes quite good. Daleks Among Us, haven't listened to that one yet. Then we have 1963 trilogy, the Fanfare for the Common Men, the Space Race, and the Assassination Games, which I'm not too fond on, to be honest. We have Afterlife, which very good story, and probably McCoy's best performance in Big Finish in part 4 is just brilliant. Antidote to Oblivion, brilliant story, really do like that one. The Brood of Eris, brilliant story, got that signed by Lisa Greenwood. It's just one of my favourite 6th Doctor audios, really did like that one. Scavenger, Moonflesh, meant to be one of the worst Big Finish stories in recent times. It's basically the 5th Doctor does Into the Forest of the Night. Then we have Tomb Ship, which I love. It's a great story, that one is. Masquerade, Breaking Bubbles and Other Stories. Revenge of the Swarm, pretty good story, did enjoy that one. Then we have The Mask of Tragedy, Signs and Wonders, Widow's Assassin, very good story, did enjoy that one. Masters of Earth, just a fantastic prequel to the Dalek Invasion of Earth. Is just superb, and the 6th Doctor's probably at his best. He's very dark, you know, saying, Perry, kill me, you know, don't let the Daleks find out about me. It's just brilliant. Varani Elite, pretty good story, did enjoy that one. Mistfall, now the next set of audios I'm going to show you, the next sort of 12, 13 audios, these are very special because this was the first ever Big Finish subscription I bought properly, you know, of the current stuff, so this holds a special heart, you know, place in my heart, and I love Mistfall. It's a fantastic story, really did enjoy that one. Equilibrium, really underrated one. I thought it would be a bit naff when it was first released, but you know what, it was one of the most surprising audios out there. It's very good, I did enjoy that one. Entry Plague, very good story, did enjoy that one. The Defectors, one of the most disappointing Big Finish stories. It was just a bit of a letdown, to be honest. Last of the Cybermen, I do quite like it, I think it's quite good. Secret History, yeah, pretty good. We Are the Daleks, one of Big Finish's best Dalek stories, is just superb. The Warehouse, very good story. Terror of the Sontarans, not too fussed on that one. Crisscross, pretty good, do enjoy that one. Planet of Rani, I re-listened to this one recently and I enjoyed it a lot more on re-listen. Shield of the Joktan, pretty good. You're the Doctor and Other Stories. I quite like this one because it has sort of an interactive Decide Your Destiny story, which I think is quite nice. So yeah, quite like that one. Waters of Amsterdam, it's alright. Aquitaine, very good, very atmospheric. I absolutely love that one, and it just feels like it's a story you don't want to end. It feels like you can have another 2-part. It feels like it could be a 6-parter, and it's just a story you just don't want to end. And I love Hargreaves, he's just a brilliant character. The Peterloo Massacre, the story where it just redeemed the 5th Doctor for me, and I just fell in love with the 5th Doctor. It's just one of my favourite audios ever. It's just superb, and when I do my top 10 Big Finish stories, you can expect this to be on the list, and it's probably going to be in the top 3. It's just superb. Then we have And You Will Obey Me, start of the 2 Master trilogy. Do enjoy this one, very good story, give that one an 8 out of 10. Vampire of the Mind, bit of a disappointment, but yeah, 7 out of 10. The Two Masters, 10 out of 10. It's just a brilliant release. I love it. Life of Crime, it's just rubbish. Jester of the Damned, it's alright. And then whatever that is yeah, Makers of Demons. The last lot of main range audios now, so we have Memory Bank and Other Stories. Order of the Daleks, very good story. Absolute Power, absolutely average in my opinion. Quicksilver, I don't get why people said it's the best release of 2016. For me, the best main range release was the Peterloo Massacre, not Quicksilver. It's a good story, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best of 2016. Then we have the Starmen. Interesting story, has a lot of ideas, but it just doesn't gel together. I mean, if you want to see my full in-depth look at these stories, I've done a main range overview, which will be in the Big Finish reviewing playlist, what I'll put in the description below. So we have the Contingency Club, Zoltis, fantastic. Alien Heart, Dalek Soul, Vortex Ice, Cortex Fire, Shadow Planet and World Apart. The High Price of Parking. Yeah, a bit of a disappointment to be honest in my opinion. Solarian Candidate, fantastic. Time in Office, my favourite main range release of the year and probably my favourite release from 2017. It was just superb, it was magnificent, love it. Behemoth, it's just rubbish in my opinion. Historical story should have substance, and this story just doesn't have substance to last a 2-hour story. It should only be an hour long in my opinion. The Middle, fantastic, really did enjoy that one. Static, one of the biggest disappointments I've ever listened to. Part 1 was brilliant. I mean, they were comparing, Big Finish were comparing this story to the Chimes of Midnight, saying this is the new Chimes of Midnight. So naturally you're going to be going, oh, this is going to be fantastic, then it's going to be one of Big Finish's classic stories. And it is, no. Part 1 is, the rest is just a bit rubbish to be honest. Kingdom of Lies, pretty good story, give that one a 7 out of 10. Ghost Walk, fantastic story, it utilises every companion brilliantly and it's just a very good story for the 5th Doctor. Serpent and the Silver Mask, this is one of the most surprising audios of 2018 so far for me. It's one of those ones where you just don't judge it by its cover, because it is just a really fun adventure. It's just a really fun story to be honest. The Heliax Rift, the start of the Unit trilogy, that's one I need to review. Law of a Nomad, yeah, pretty good story, 7 out of 10 I think, or an 8 out of 10 I give it. Iron Bright, brilliant story, I give that one a 9 out of 10, brilliant. And then I have the most recent main range story, Hour of the Cybermen, which is one of the next reviews, so I'm not going to say anything on this because that's going to be for a future video. So there we go, that's the main range. Lost stories now, so we have the Nightmare Fair, pretty good story to be honest. Mission to Magnus, one of my favourites. I just don't understand the hate this story gets. I do enjoy this one. Leviathan, part 1 is brilliant, but then part 2 it kind of runs out of ideas to be honest. Hollows of Time, I really do enjoy this one. It's one of my favourite lost stories. Maybe that's because I love Frontios. Paradise 5, very good story. Point of Entry, it's basically the 6th Doctor put in a Philip Hinchcliffe story. It's very good. Song of Megaptera, it's probably the weakest of the series to be honest. Then we have Macross, which I really do like actually. It's a very good story, did enjoy that one. Then we have the 1st Doctor box set containing the Farewell Great Macedon and Fragile Yellow Arc of Fragrance, so there we go. Then we have the 2nd Doctor box set containing the Prisoner in Space and the Daleks the Destroyers, which is basically the US Dalek pilot episode by Terry Nation. Then we have season 27, Thin Ice, which it's okay. Ice Warriors and Fish Fingers, that's all I'm going to say. Crime of the Century, pretty good. Animal is probably my favourite from season 24, it's just brilliant. Did enjoy that one. Maybe because I listened to that when Sleep No More aired and I was just, you know, not impressed with Sleep No More, and I listened to Animal and it was just a million times better. Then we have Earth Aid. Then we have The Elite, which is a fantastic, phenomenal audio. It is brilliant. Believe the hype. It's just brilliant seeing the 5th Doctor put in this really dark story. It's just brilliant. I think that's when the 5th Doctor works the best, when he's putting these dark, bleak stories, because he's such a, you know, a calm, you know, charming Doctor. You know, he's probably the most, you know, timid Doctor of them all. Putting him in sort of a dark, bleak situation and just seeing how he copes is just brilliant. Then we have Hexagoria, the Children of Seth. We have the Guardians of Prophecy, brilliant story, fantastic. Power Play, yeah, it's a good story. First of the Sontarans, it's decent. Master of the Luxor, brilliant, really did enjoy this story, it's just wonderful. Then the Rose Mariners, which I really did enjoy, very good story. Now into the last section of the Lost Stories, so we have the Dark Planet. the Queen of Time, which is quite interesting. The Lords of the Red Planet, the Genesis of the Ice Warriors, one of my favourite Second Doctor audios, is just brilliant. The Mega, just a 6-part Pertwee epic, probably my favourite Third Doctor audio, and it's definitely in my top 10 Big Finish. I'm not going to say where it is because that's a video what's upcoming my top 10 Big Finish. Then we have the 4th Doctor box set containing Foe from the Future and the Valley of Death. A brilliant box set. This was the first 4th Doctor Big Finish thing I got, and it's just brilliant. Foe from the Future is just superb, it is magnificent, and the Valley of Death, again, very good story. Then we have some bonus special releases. So we have Return of the Daleks, which links into the Dalek Empire series, and also sort of sees the 7th Doctor go back to Spyrodon, their final flight, Cryptobios, there we go. Then we have Return to the Web Planet, Return of the Protons, which I'm intrigued to listen to, I'm very interested to listen to. Then the next 2 audios I'm going to show you are subscriber specials, so you only get these if you subscribe to Big Finish. So we have the 4 Doctors, which I'm planning to review. I'm hopefully going to review that one. Then we have the 5 Companions, which I have reviewed and I just love. It is brilliant. Night of the Stormcrow, brilliant, very good Philip Hinchcliffe style story. I just love it, it's just wonderful. Then we have Trial of a Valiant, again, very good story. Moving on to one of my favourite ranges, the 4th Doctor Adventures now. So we have Tom Baker 80, which is signed by Tom Baker. We have Destination Nerva, which is a pretty good story. Renaissance Man, pretty good. Wrath of the Iceni, love it, it's great. Energy of the Daleks, fantastic. Trail of the White Worm, bit naff. And then his side adventure, a bit naff as well. Antimatter, not much of a fan of that. One of my favourite 4th Doctor adventures is Sands of Life, War Against Valan, Justice of Ixjalxar, pretty good because it's Jago and Lightfoot and it's brilliant. Phantoms of the Deep, The Dalek Contract, brilliant. Final Phase, fantastic. Series 2 of the 4th Doctor adventures is my favourite. King of Sontar, it's a brilliant one. White Ghosts. The Crooked Man starts off so well, but then it just falls apart in the second half. Got that signed by Louise Jameson. Then we have the Evil One, Last of the Colophont, Destroy the Infinite, The Abandoned, Zygon Hunt, which I think is quite underrated. The Exelons, doing like that one. Darkness of Glass, brilliant. Requiem for the Rocket Men, Deathmatch. One of my least favourite 4th Doctor adventures, probably my least favourite, is Suburban Hell. Cloister of Terror, brilliant. Beta Krelos, and we have Return to Talos being just brilliant. And we have the Wave of Destruction there. We have the Labyrinth of Buddha Castle, one of my favourite 4th Doctor adventures. Then we have the Paradox Planet, which links into the Legacy of Death. Then we have the Gallery of Ghouls, which is just a lot of fun. Trouble with Drax, brilliant. Pursuit of History, and the Casualties of Time. The Beast of Kravenos, Series 6 is just fantastic. The Eternal Battle is amazing. Just believe the hype with that one. Silent Scream, again, really good. And then Death Thrash, just a real Season 18 style story. Haunting of Malkin Place. Subterranea, probably the weakest in Series 6. The Melvellen Grave, pretty good. Then we have the finale, Skin of the Sleep, and the Thief Who Stole Time. A very good conclusion to the series. And we have Series 7. Part 1, and then we have Series 7 Part 2, and then we have the first Philip Hinchcliffe Presents box set containing the Ghost of Gralstead and the Devil's Armada. Then we have the Genesis Chamber there, and we have the Helm of Ore. Moving on to the 8th Doctor adventures now, so we have Blood of the Daleks Part 1, Blood of the Daleks Part 2, which is a good starting place to get into Big Finish. Then we have Horror of Glamrock, which I really like. Phobos is a bit average. Human Resources Part 1 and Part 2, which is it's decent. Dead London I quite enjoy. Max War, if you like Top Gear, you're going to like it because it is very much a parody of that. Brave New Town, surprising villain within that, but yeah, pretty good. Soul of Sobek. Then we have Grand Theft Cosmos. The Zygon Who Fell to Earth, my first 8th Doctor adventure I got from this range. Then we have Sisters of the Flame and the Vengeance of Morbius, which is a bit naff to be honest. We have Orbis. Hot House, which I really like. The Beast of Orlok, underrated. We're in Dawn is fantastic. We have the Scapegoat, the 8 Truths, World Wide Web, Death in Blackpool, Unearthly Child. I know that's a special one, but I just put it there because why not. Then we have Situation Vacant. Then we have Nevermore, which I really did enjoy. The Book of Kells, Demos, which I think is fantastic, and so is Resurrection of Mars. Then we have Relative Dimensions, which is a nice fun adventure. Prison of the Sun, pretty good. Then we have Lucy Miller, which is just phenomenal. And then we have the absolute perfection audio to the death. It's just brilliant and so emotional. It's an absolute roller coaster of an adventure with these two. It is just superb. I love it. Moving on to the 8th Doctor box set saga now, so we have Dark Eyes, and I'm got to be honest, Dark Eyes is just a brilliant box set. I love it, and I feel like Dark Eyes should have just been this box set, because the other box sets never really top this box set, because Dark Eyes, the first box set, is just where it's at. Dark Eyes 2, it's alright. Dark Eyes 3 is probably the weakest, and then Dark Eyes 4, it's good. It's a good box set, but I personally think Dark Eyes should have just stayed as the one box set. Then we have Doom Coalition. Starts off well, and then the second half is just a bit naff. Doom Coalition 2, no, I hate it. I just don't like that box set. Then we have Doom Coalition 3, probably the best in the series. Then we have Doom Coalition 4 there. And we have Ravenous, which is it's a good box set, nothing special, bit of a disappointment to be honest. 8th Doctor Time War. Then we have 8th Doctor Time War 2, which is my latest review. Then we have Only the Monstrous. Infernal Device is probably my favourite of the War Doctor series. Agents of Chaos. And then we have the Casualties of War, and then we have one of my favourite box sets, which is the War Master Only the Good. It is just amazing. Love all these stories, they're just brilliant. Moving on to Companion Chronicles now, so we have Frostfire, Fear of the Daleks, the Bluetooth, which I really do like, and then we have the Beautiful People, we have Mother Russia, Old Soldiers, which is a great story, do enjoy that one, the Doll of Death, Home Truths, the Darkening Eye, Magician's Oath, quite a fun audio that is. Mahogany Murderers, brilliant, love it. The pilot episode to the Jago and Lightfoot series. Stealers from Safe, the Drowned World, part of the Sarah Kingdom trilogy which started in the Home Truths, the Glorious Revolution, Prisoner of Peladon, The Suffering. This is a 2-disc companion chronicle. We have the Emperor of Eternity, the Shadow of the Past, Solitaire, which is a pretty good one to be honest. Then we have the last story in the Sarah Kingdom trilogy, The Guardian of the Solar System, Find and Replace, which is just so beautiful. We've got the old Joe Grant meeting the 3rd Doctor. It's just beautiful, love it. Then we have the Invasion of E-Space, Quinnis, Perry and the Piscon Paradox, the Perpetual Bond, the first story in the Oliver Harper trilogy, which I love. Great story that one is. We have the Centaurs of the New Dawn, Cold Equations, the second story in the Oliver Harper trilogy, and then we have Tales from the Vault, very good way of using the Companion Chronicle format. We have the Rocket Men, which is good, did enjoy that one. The Many Deaths of Joe Grant, one of my favourite Companion Chronicles, it's just brilliant. Then we have the last story in the Oliver Harper trilogy, the First Wave. Beyond the Ultimate Adventure, I haven't heard too good things about that one. Then we have the Anachronauts, which I really did enjoy. It's a 2-disc one, that one is. The Salation Gambit, Binary, did enjoy that one. The Wanderer, the Jigsaw War, Rings of Ikira, the Time Museum, very clever story, did enjoy that one a lot. The Last Post, my favourite Companion Chronicles, just a true love letter to season 7. It's just so wonderful. We have Return of the Rocket Men, the Flame of Cadiz, the Scorchies, just a really wacky and bizarre one that one is, and just really good. And then we have the Library of Alexandria, the Apocalypse Mirror, the Council of War, Mastermind, the Alchemists, Upstairs, pretty good, did enjoy that one. Ghost and Machine, the first Companion Chronicle I listened to, just love it. It's a very special one to me, that one is. The Beginning, love it, quite underrated. The Dying Light, the second part of the Quadriga Stoin trilogy, which started in the beginning. This one's alright, did enjoy that one. Luna Romana, a multi-Romana story, and the last story in the Quadriga Stoin trilogy, and that is a 2-disc one. Then we have the War to End All Wars, which sets up the Stephen Taylor stories in the First Doctor box set in the Companion Chronicles, the Elixir of Doom, and this is where it links into, well, the War to End All Wars links into the 3 stories within this set. So there we go. So it's kind of a loose trilogy really. So yeah, this one's a pretty good box set. Second Doctor Volume 1, I've got a bit of a mishap because the printing happened on Big Finish and it was a bit of a mishap. But yeah, pretty good box set, did enjoy that one. Then we have the First Doctor Companion Chronicles Volume 2, love it, love it. I mean, check out my review of it, I just think it's superb. It is a brilliant box, it has something for everyone who loves the first Doctor era. It just captures everything we love about 62 in this box set. It's just brilliant, love it. Moving on to the last lot of Companion Chronicles, so we have the recent Companion Chronicle box set, the Second Doctor Volume 2, the Companion Chronicle, the specials containing the Three Companions, the Mists of Time and Freak Show. Then we have the Early Adventures, Domain of the Void, brilliant. The Doctor's Tale, just a perfect win to listen, that one is. Bounty of Sirius, very good. Ordinary Life, I haven't listened to that one yet. The Yes Men, brilliant, love it. The Forsaken, really good story, but a really missed opportunity because it sees Ben reunite with his father, and they don't really do too much for that idea, which is a bit of a shame. The Black Hole, I just really don't like it. The iSource Network, do like that one, really enjoyed that one. Age of Endurance, it's okay. Fifth Traveller, I started listening to it and then I just kind of give up on it. Revelli Conspiracy, love it, fantastic historical story, brilliant. The Sontarans, superb, 10 out of 10 that one is. The Night Witches, superb, love it, my favourite from Series 4. Then we have the Outliers, again fantastic. The Morton Legacy, probably the weakest of the series. Then we have Wreck of the World, again pretty good. Then we have the Third Doctor Adventures with Tim Treloar, so we have Volume 1 signed by Jamie Robertson. Probably the weakest in the series, looking back on it. Volume 2, very good. Transcendence of Ephros is my favourite story of this set. Then we have Volume 3 with the Conquest of Fire and Storm of Horofax. Yeah, good box set, I did enjoy that one. But then we have this box set, which is my favourite from the Third Doctor Adventures, The Rise of the Humans and Tyrant of Logic, which I have done a full review of these stories. And Tyrant of Logic, so far, is my favourite story of 2018 from Big Finish. It is just brilliant, I love it. It's the Third Doctor and the Cybermen in a full cast story, brilliant, love it. Kind of some miscellaneous things now, so we have the Fifth Doctor box set, which I absolutely love. If you love the Fifth Doctor, then get this box set. Psychodrome and Iteration Devia, fantastic. Then we have some short trips, Volume 1, Volume 2 and Volume 3, Volume 4, and we have the Toy, which is a really nice short trip. Then we have the stage plays, The Ultimate Adventure. We have the First Doctor Adventures with David Bradley, Volume 1, and I do have Volume 2, which hasn't arrived yet. I'll just quickly get it up just to show you. There we go, it's in the app there, you can see, lovely. I've just started listening to it, all good stuff. I need to review this box set, but yeah, it was a good box set. So we have the novel adaptation stuff now, so we have Love and War, Theatre of War, quite a jump because I do have the limited edition stuff for that. So we have All Consuming Fire, Nightshade, superb, love it, brilliant audio. Then we have Original Sin, pretty good. Then we have Cold Fusion, love it, brilliant. Then we have the New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield Volume 1. We have the Triumph of Sutekh, the New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield Volume 3, the Unbound Universe, very good box set. I absolutely love these two box sets. Then we have Rule of the Universe, one of my favourites from last year. We have some Unbound stuff, so we have Old Mortality, Sympathy for the Devil, which I really did enjoy, very good story. 4 Fathom 5, The Jest of Scars, Storm of Angels, Masters of War, brilliant, love this one, fantastic story. Then we have Unit with Time Heals, Snakehead, The Longest Night, The Wasting, Unit Dominion. Then we have the new Unit stuff with Unit Assembled, which was a very disappointing box set once the nostalgia had sort of run off. And then we have Cyber Reality, which is a much better box set, really did enjoy that. It's kind of like the Invasion, a sort of a box set of two halves, so the first two stories, no Cybermen, then the second half, the Cybermen are in it. But yeah, nice inclusion to have Derek Jacobi in there. But yeah, very nice. Other spin-off stuffs now, so we have Sarah Jane Comeback, which is a good start, to be honest. I'll give that one a 7 out of 10. Then we have the Teo Connection, Ghost Town, Test of Nerve, Mirror Signal Maneuver. Then we have Series 2, I think this is, Buried Secrets, Snowblind, which I'm looking forward to listening to, Fatal Consequences, and Dreamland. Obviously Sarah Jane Smith would have happened more, but obviously the Sarah Jane Adventures kind of put a spanner in the works for that. Then we have I Davros with Innocence. I really need to listen to I Davros. We have Purity, Corruption, Guilt. Then we have Invasion of the Daleks, start of the Dalek Empire series, very good story, did enjoy that one. Human Factor, very good. Death to the Daleks, Project Infinity. Then we have Series 2, we have Dalek War Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and we have Chapter 4 there. Then we have Series 3 with The Exterminators, the Healers with David Tennant there, Survivors, the Demons, the Warriors, the Future, Dalek Empire Series 4 Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 and Part 4. Then the last few box sets what I have, we have the Diary of a Song Series 3, which I am planning to review, and yeah, it's a very good box set. Then we have Classic Doctor's New Monsters, yeah, very good box set. My favourite story being Fallen Angels, just brilliant. Then we have Classic Doctor's New Monsters Volume 2, probably my favourite out of the two box sets what they did, and yeah, love it, brilliant box set. My two favourite ones are definitely the 4th Doctor and the 5th Doctor one, they're just brilliant. We also have Jenny, which is a pretty good box set, and I will be reviewing this, and we do have a surprise cameo at the end, which was a rather nice little addition. And yeah, definitely my favourite story of the set was Prisoner of the Ood, so yeah, I will be reviewing Jenny in the near future. And we have the Cyberman series kicking off with Scorpius, which is brilliant audio, love it. Scorpius is fantastic, probably the best of Series 1. Then we have Fear, if I can get it out, there we go. Then we have Conversion, which is probably my second favourite from the series. Then we have Telos. Then we have the very rare Cyberman 2 box set, which I've got to be honest, Cyberman 2 is a lot better than Series 1. I much prefer Series 2 over Series 1. Then we have Gallifrey Time War. Disappointment, but it was worth getting just for Derek Jacobi's War Master. Then we start my favourite spin-off, Jago and Lightfoot, with Benjamin Baxter, the wrong way around, there we go. So yeah, Jago and Lightfoot Series 1, very good introduction. I would say definitely get Mahogany Murderers first, because it is a pilot episode, especially links into the finale with the villain of the story. Then we have Series 2, probably my second favourite Jago and Lightfoot box set. It's just brilliant, love it. But the ending, the last story, just kind of let it down for me. But yeah, Series 2 is just perfection. Series 3, the most, sort of, this is when we sort of get to more sort of Doctor Who style stories. But yeah, still very good box set with Leela. Then we have Series 4 with Colin Baker and Louise Jameson still in there. Then we have the Voyage story, so we have Voyage to Venus, and we have Voyage to the New World. Yeah, nice little hour-long stories they are. Then we have Series 5, my favourite Jago and Lightfoot box set, seeing Jago and Lightfoot in the swinging 60s. It's just a lot of fun, and obviously has a lot of character development for Ellie. So I will say, listen to the first 5 box sets in order, then you can kind of start cherry-picking, because the amount of character development for Ellie, especially in box set 1 and 2, and then you get to sort of, you know, Series 5, and then it just all makes sense. So yeah, I really do like that. So listen to the first 5 in order, and then sort of cherry pick your Jago and Lightfoot box set. So yeah, then we've got Series 6. Yeah, very good box set, did enjoy that one. Then we have Series 7, again, very good box set. I mean, Jago and Lightfoot is my favourite spin-off, so I'm naturally biased. But yeah, this story has a bit like Jago and Lightfoot does the Chimes of Midnight. Yeah, it's very good, that story. Then we have Series 8. Then we have Series 9, where Jago and Lightfoot go on a cruise. Then we have Jago and Lightfoot and Strax, just a laugh out loud audio, it's just brilliant. Then we have Series 10, very good series in my opinion. Then we have Series 11 there. We have Series 12, a very good series, probably my third favourite Jago and Lightfoot series. Then we have Series 13, which I really like, I think that's quite good. And then we have Jago and Lightfoot Forever, which is just so beautiful. And I did blubber a few tears because, oh, it's just brilliant. Then we have the Revival as well, which I have reviewed, and that's a really good short trip. We have the limited edition Big Finish Deluxe books. What we've got Light at the End, the Worlds of Doctor Who. We have the novel adaptations with Life of Crime and The English Way of Death. Then we have Volume 2 with Damaged Goods and The Well-Mannered War being just fantastic. The 6th Doctor Last Adventure, the 10th Doctor Adventures, Volume 1 and Volume 2. The final 2 things to close off this Big Finish collection, we have the Infamy of Azaros vinyl, and we have the Energy of the Daleks vinyl. So there we go, that is the Big Finish collection done for 2018. I'm absolutely shattered, I hope you have enjoyed it, and I can see why I only do this once a year, because it's absolutely tiring. So yes, thank you very much for watching this collection update, well, collection video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. So thank you very much, and bye bye.